Hello, beautiful people. Hello, welcome. Welcome. Let me add Coach Kayla in. Hi,
Hello.
Kayla.
Hi. How are you?
I am blessed and highly favored. How are you doing?
I am doing fantastic. I feel so just ready for this IG live today. How are you?
Awesome. Awesome. I also want you to tell me what's going well.
Yeah, what's going well today is the fact that I took some time to take care of myself before this IG live, before getting vulnerable and getting uncomfortable, and just breathe and give myself lots of compassion,
Awesome.
How about you? What's going well for you, Tia?
Awesome. I'm excited about life. I'm excited about the impact of being vulnerable. I am alive. I am well. Um, I am an entrepreneur. These things are very exciting, things I hadn't fully envisioned for my life. And just deciding what my future is every day, how I'm going about work and business, and the impact I get to have on lives through me getting vulnerable and allowing others the space to share their story and experiences and get feedback and come to new awareness. So I'm excited about so much. Um,
Yay.
all right. So in the audience, as we're talking about our stuff, we want to hear about you. So I want y'all to let us know what's going well with you today. We always gonna start from a place of gratitude. Too often we are numb to when people say, "How are you doing?" We just provide surface level answers. So we want to think about it from what's going well. So what do you have to be grateful for? Please share with us. And we want to welcome you all into the room as we're going to get vulnerable today.
Welcome, welcome. I see some familiar names, which is always fun. Some
Yes.
new names. Hello and welcome.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi, Zoko Moko. Hi, Emmanuel. Hi, everyone.
Oh, I see Grateful. Yes.
Yes. Hi.
Rest is going well today. I love to hear
Yes.
that. Oh,
Yes. And giving ourselves permission to take rest. That's a huge thing
yes.
because a lot of times we don't do that. We're so depleted. We're overpouring, over exerting ourselves and giving most of the time to others and not necessarily nourishing ourselves, and then feel guilty when we decide to take rest. So I'm grateful for you resting today. Blessed to be alive. I'm happy for getting good sleep. I'm trying to tell you, when those days when you don't get sufficient rest, it's hard. It's hard to maintain
Yes.
good energy and everything. It feels like everything is irritable. Being able to be here with you guys, I'm excited about what's about to happen. Me too. Me too.
Yes.
Me too. So I guess we're gonna go ahead and get started. So I want. What you say, Kayla?
Oh, I was just throwing in headphones real quick, but go ahead.
Oh, I can hear you. Okay, I hear you now. So we want to say hello, everyone. Today, as you know, as we indicated in our post this week, we are going to be getting vulnerable. So last time we all got together, we talked about listening. I really want to get a little bit of feedback before we get vulnerable in how as we always give you action steps, how has that been going for you? How was that, putting that into practice? If some of you all who were here last time, please let us know how that was going for you as we move forward. Putting that listening into practice, right? As always, we want you to start by dropping an emoji in the chat that represents how you feel about vulnerability as well, because we know it is challenging and intense sometimes when you think about being vulnerable. So we want you to drop those emojis in the chat about how you feel when you think about vulnerability, right? Let's see what we got. Oh, right.
See the monkey with that.
Right.
Eye rolling. Yes.
Right. Eye roll. I'm telling you. So, like, do I have to do this? Yes. Yes.
Oh yeah.
And we
I
want
feel
to.
all of
We want
these.
to. Right. Right. So, like, shining teeth, all of that. We want to cry. I know we appreciate you all's honesty, and that's going to help us in really supporting Coach Kayla today, as she will be the one getting vulnerable and sharing her story. And we want to really start by asking you a question, and really that question is, have you ever wondered what has led us to becoming life coaches? Yeah, so just thinking about that, what led us on this path that led us to becoming life coaches?
No, definitely. I think that's a great question. And I think a question that we should ask like most professionals that we look up to, what led you here? What got you to this point where you decided this is what I'm going to do, or this is how I'm going to support people? Because it can be so much, it can allow you to unlock yourself when you can learn from the people that you are exposing yourself and getting raw with, how they got here, right? So I think that that's fantastic. We also wanted to, as we dive into vulnerability, I'm going to be sharing my story today. Another IG Live, T is going to be diving into her story, and we just wanted to share that sharing experiences and storytelling can be triggering. So we want you all to know that we appreciate your support, but if there is something that is triggering to you, to make sure that you're taking care of yourself and that you are putting yourself first is the utmost important thing. If you need to get off live, get off live. If you're like, I need to go for a walk after this, go for a walk. Do what you need to do to take care of yourself, because storytelling is hard. Sometimes you're like, oh, I share that experience as well, or wow, that was really hard to listen to. So being able to allow yourself that space and that compassion is so important. And so if you need any sort of support as we dive into this today, feel free to reach out to us, connect with us. We also have other resources that we would love to share with you guys. So please don't hesitate to DM Tia and I, or email us, or any way that you can get in contact with us. Feel free to reach out. And I want to encourage you guys to drop a heart in the chat here to share some self-love, some self-compassion as we dive into vulnerability today, because at the end of the day, it's uncomfortable. It's so uncomfortable. It's like all the emojis that we saw already. It's like teeth chattering, skin crawling, vulnerability. It's just straight up scary, right? So being able to just give yourself that love and drop that in the chat to affirm that is absolutely beautiful. Awesome. Appreciate the hearts. Yay. I also did want to provide a little bit of statement as, again, we dive into storytelling, how important it is to acknowledge privilege in different stories, right? So as I share my story today, I did want to acknowledge the privilege that I hold. I am a white woman who has been born in America. I come from a middle-class single-family home. I utilize cisgender pronouns, she, her, hers. I am neurotypical, and I currently reside in a heteronormative relationship. So it was just really important for me to share that. That way we're not causing any sort of harm or diminishing other experiences. So thank you guys.
Awesome. Thanks for clarifying, our trigger content warnings and identifying the privileges in which you have, Kayla, as we go into this um, sharing today. So now we're going to jump into this, but we're going to start by welcoming everyone to our IG Live. If you haven't been here before, we really want to welcome you. We really picked this topic really just from this desire that our vulnerability can help someone. So we really felt it was the perfect topic to just really share and for you to understand the background of coaches and us in particular and why we do the work that we do. So I really want to encourage you all as Kayla is sharing her story, and we already know how challenging it is. Even if we're coaches, being vulnerable is still challenging. But we're up for the task. So we want you to set up the space so you're providing support for Kayla. We want you to also incorporate any questions that you may have throughout. You don't need to wait to the end. We will also have that space at the end where we usually provide a time to ask questions. Anything that resonates with you, just let us know what's resonating with you. Be engaging, even if it's more focused towards Kayla's story. But the intent is really to see if her story can also help you or someone you know. Okay? So I am Tia Trust, the owner of Phoenix Nest Coaching, and my co-host is.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kayla Winters. I am a life coach, yoga instructor, and moon phase enthusiast. I'm the owner of the Lunar Radiance Wellness Center. And if you've been following us again, welcome back. We are so excited to see you guys here. And if this is your first time, we want to give you a huge welcome and just appreciate you and shed lots of love on everyone for being here. We're just so excited. After this live, we highly recommend that you go ahead and check out our previous lives. This is Tia and I's 7th IG live together. This is month 7. It is crazy. We are so excited. We have put out so much content, put out so much intention with everything that we do. We've talked about healthy communication, boundaries, self-care, self-love, life coaching. The list goes on. We always provide tips all throughout. Answer all of your guys' questions. So go check those out, share them. We'd love to hear from you guys. Even if it was from the first time that we did this, we would love to answer any questions that you guys have. And again, thank you guys for supporting us along the way and learning with us as well. We're so excited.
Awesome. So, as we already said, I'll be guiding this conversation with Kayla. So let's get vulnerable.
Yeah, let's do it. Wow.
All right.
Here we go.
So our initial question is, why did you want to get vulnerable?
Yeah, that is a great question to start with. So part of it was to be able to, I deal with perfectionism and being extremely performative. It's like one of my favorite things to do is to just perform and put on the mask and do all these things. And it's so unhelpful. It's so unhelpful at the end of the day. Doesn't do anything for me, except for build this facade of sticks that are just going to get blown over in the wind. So I really wanted to get vulnerable today, to be able to expose myself, to be able to get uncomfortable, to share my story and hopefully be a key to unlock other people. Something that as I was reflecting on this, lots of shift points for me have stemmed from other people being vulnerable and being able to see that they were able to do it, which gave me permission to be able to do it with myself. And I wanted to be able to be that uncomfortable person to hopefully unlock that for somebody else. So that's a little bit about why I wanted to get vulnerable, as well as, yeah, we might be coaches, but we're not perfect. You know,
Right.
we are on this self-love, this self-care, this journey of self-exploration ourselves, and it is constantly happening all the time. Just because I'm coaching people through it doesn't mean that I have every answer in the book and that I know everything that I'm doing. It's just a matter of getting to a place of allowing yourself to ask the hard questions and be willing to answer them. So that's why I wanted to get vulnerable today. So I'm excited. I've been so scared. Tia when we were planning all this out, I was like, perfect. You know, maybe I can go next month. I was like, I'm not ready for this. I'm so not ready for this. I'm so nervous. The last couple of weeks I've been through like a hard headspace myself. I've been really struggling, been feeling kind of lost, really disconnected, feeling like a sense of loss and trust in myself. And I was like, I'm so not ready to be vulnerable, but I was like, actually, no, this needs to happen. I do trust myself. I do know myself. And being able to push myself into this uncomfortable space has been allowed me to like get back in touch with that. So we're not going to start the tears already, but you know, get ready.
The one thing I want to say to you, Kayla, is, you know, it sounds like this is a phase, another phase in your breakthrough. And so one thing I want to say to the audience before I ask you a question based on what you said is that once you have one breakthrough, that doesn't mean that's the end of it. As we continue to grow and develop and continue to change and desire things to show up differently, we're working on different components of our lives. So as we keep working and moving forward, there's going to be a variety of breakthroughs that happen and different shifts as we grow and develop on our journey. Remember, it's a healing journey. It's a self-love journey. It's a self-care journey. It's so many things. It is a journey. So remember, there's going to be several levels of breakthroughs. And so we want to celebrate you and your willingness to get vulnerable for your next phase of breakthrough. And you had mentioned like your presenting and stuff like that. I want you to talk a little bit about, where did you learn that? Where did that come from?
We're going straight into the nitty gritty. I learned a lot of this from my family and more specifically my mom. She has had a huge influence on me in regards to essentially this pressure to be perfect. I am the oldest of three, and so there has been a huge amount of pressure on me to get it right, to get on it, to be the best, to be the example, to be like all these things. And a lot of them have been self-imposed based off of just the pressures that were being put on me. Then there was like a whole wave of self-imposed pressures that were generated as well. And I felt that I just needed to perform, and that ultimately my voice, my worth of showing up as myself wasn't enough ultimately. And so hence the perfectionism tendencies, hence the, oh, I can't show up like this, or oh, I can't present this way, or any of those things. Social media has been a huge challenge in that regards, of so much anxiety of, oh my God, I'm not showing up as like this professional altogether life coach. Oh my God, I'm not being this person or not being that, when at the end of the day, none of that matters. It just matters showing up as yourself. But it's a constant battle, a constant struggle of having to navigate all of that. And then having to just come back to yourself at the end of the day and be like, it's okay. It's okay. To speak a little bit more on the anxiety piece, I also have had a huge struggle with anxiety and depression for, I couldn't tell you how long now, for a long time. I had the epiphany when I was in my AP psychology class in high school. and they brought up anxiety on the PowerPoint, and I'm sitting there and I was like, um, oh my God. Oh my God. Yep, that's me. That is me. But it still, even from having that point, took me several years to get help and support. And it's still a constant battle. And so actually getting vulnerable is super uncomfortable and triggers even more anxiety for me, which I am nervous about today, but I'm also excited to walk through that journey with you all today of how I will be navigating and kind of working through those symptoms that I experience with anxiety as well. So, yeah, thanks for. I went on a little tangent, but that's what happens when you tell your story, right?
I mean, it's so many components to us. So I
Yeah.
think it's just perfect. What you're sharing is in alignment with what you should be sharing.
Right.
Um, And I was also thinking as you were speaking, another thing that our audience can hear today. It wasn't no one day fix it, right? She said she had some realizations years ago, and it was like, I think of it as seed dropping. My growth is gonna happen. Like when you plant the seed in the ground, it doesn't turn into a whole tree or a bushel of vegetables or anything. It's a seed. So your growth is going to happen like that. So that's a big part of why we got to show ourselves some grace on our journey. Like, I'm just grateful for what I
100%.
got today. We got to be lighter on
Right.
ourselves and stuff like that and really celebrate, because if we beat ourselves up that we're not further along, it's going to be harder to get further along. But we got to celebrate our small victories, because as I've said before in our lives, is that small hinges swing big doors. So it takes these little steps
Yep.
to end up with a huge impact. Okay? I want
100%. I
everybody to hear
completely
that,
agree.
get that. And so then my next question is, what's some points, maybe 3 to 5 or any amount of points? What are some major points um, in your life that really shaped who you are and who you've become as a coach and a yoga instructor?
Yeah. Awesome. So, probably kind of the three biggest life like shifts that I've had was, just growing up, childhood has had such a big impact on me. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm the oldest of three, have kind of taken on this mom role a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
as well as having some complicated relationships with my own mother, struggles with mental health within those relationships as well, that have really impacted me to this day and how I go about um, showing up for myself, setting boundaries, what that looks like. Um, Huge, huge impact. I could literally go on for days about family and how I'm sure as most of us, right? If you can want to drop a heart or something, if you've had those struggles with family and um, just the influence that they have. I grew up with my mom. Her mindset that I was drilled with was she knows everything. Don't question it. Don't anything. She knows everything. And then you start to grow up and you start to realize you're like, hmm, I, I don't know if you know everything actually, you know? And I'm sure. And that was that mindset of just like, oh my gosh. And then I start to question things, and then it becomes these huge rifts in the relationship and these tensions when you have to stand up for yourself or you have to acknowledge that these things aren't right, to someone who has this mindset that they know everything. And it is just, it's not easy. To this day, we still have issues of how to navigate this type of relationship. And I just went through my mom and we went traveling together recently, and oh Lord, that was a struggle. Um, I started to notice these tendencies in myself that I have worked really hard to move past. Just getting really nasty, getting really short, getting really irritated, lack of patience, lack of compassion, and decided that I need a 3-week break. at least, because this does not feel good. This feels disgusting. And in the past, that definitely was not the case. I wouldn't have been able to even recognize that. I just would have been in this nasty, deep, dark hole of just like hate and resentment and all of those feelings. Again, you can relate with family that can be stirred up. Family is just such a complicated, experience to navigate, especially with, again, these expectations that like what family has to look like and what it's supposed to be like. And then again, those performative tendencies, stem tend to come up because of that. So family, huge point for me. Huge impact. A second one, I've also mentioned this, has just been my journey with mental health. I went through college as a first generation college student. My parents didn't really know much about what was happening. I had no idea, going in very blind. Huge culture shock with college. I'm sure as a lot of people have experienced. And then also having to navigate mental health with no support from family because they didn't accept mental health, and then having to figure that out, not even realizing like, oh, I'm dead. Um,
Oh, okay. Well, I don't hear anything. I'm not sure if it's me or if it's you. Uh oh. Uh oh. We lost Coach Kayla. Let me try to get her back.
there we are.
Oh, there
Can you
you
hear me
go.
okay?
There you
I'm
go.
so sorry.
Yes, I hear you great.
Wi-Fi and all that fun stuff. Anyways, okay, what was the last thing you heard me say?
The last thing I heard you say, you were talking about the journey so around mental health and stuff like that.
Okay, perfect. So I had mentioned just having to navigate that through college, not realizing that I was
Right.
having these issues, hitting places where my anxiety was so bad I couldn't go into buildings, um, just having to navigate all of that, and then going through traumatic experiences as well throughout college. Um, that left me, um, I was diagnosed with PTSD in college, not really having anyone to talk to about that experience, what it was like, um, and then ultimately having to find help on my own. Are you guys still able to hear me? It's like kind of
Yes.
okay, cool. I just wanted to
Yeah.
make sure.
It's
Um,
it's it's lagging, but we hear you.
okay, perfect. I apologize for the internet and I appreciate your patience. Um, so So we have family, we have mental health, we have the entire college experience, getting diagnosed with PTSD, and then post college, jumped into corporate America world, which, oh Lord, I know Tia can relate. it's a it was a hot mess. It was terrible. Um, Lots of work with identifying what my worth was. Every day at my old corporate job, we would get a scorecard sent to us, and it would tell us what number we were in the company, which getting a number every day of your worth almost is just hard. So those are probably like the three biggest pushes that really led.
Mm-hmm. And really quickly, how did those scorecards leave you feeling? I don't want us to assume. I want you to tell us, how did those scorecards receiving that leave you feeling?
Yeah, well, when it was a good day and I was high on the scorecard, I was high on life and I was like, heck yeah. And when it wasn't a good day, I felt like crap. Felt absolutely terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not consistent. I wonder why.
Oh, she'll join back in there. But while she's trying to come back in, the other thing that's really important is we want to also encourage a variety of services, like as like she was talking about with mental health, not really knowing how to get help, but eventually making the decision to find some mental health support. I also want to encourage you all to do that, because if we could do it on our own, we would have already. So get the support so you can have the breakthroughs that you desire. If you want to have peace, joy, calm, love, all of those things, you got to work on your breakthrough. You got to be intentional. Just make the decision that I'm going to do what I need to do to have the breakthrough that I need to have the shift that I desire to have. Right. And then, just like you said, being scored, imagine the environment that is. So then these layers of things that she's mentioned, all these layers of things just impacted, her mental health, being the one, the things that she was taught from her childhood. So all of these things coming together to impact the person she is. But the great thing that she did, she was like, I'm going to fight for me. And that's an act of self-love. So I encourage you all to also um, be in the fight for yourself, because that's an act of self-love. Let's see if we can get Kayla back in here. And then this also allows you to think people do not look like what they have been through. And then these jobs, what people are subjecting folks to is madness. So imagine getting this scorecard. Imagine what I was talking about, Kayla, was the layers of things. So all the things that you mentioned, and they're just layered up on top. And then this scorecard and all of this is just a lot. And so the thing I want to celebrate you for, now that you're back on here, is that you chose to fight for yourself. You said, I may not know what resources are out there, but I am in the fight for myself. I'm going to reach out to any of these mental health resources to help me figure out how to do my life.
100%.
And how to do it even better than what I'm doing it right now.
Right. One thing that was a big shifting point for me too in my corporate job was looking at all of my management and taking a look at what their lives looked like. And they've been in this business for 10, 15, 20 years. And I was looking at them and I was like, nope, no, I am not subjecting myself to this life. I'm not getting in line. I am not going to be this performative robot who does this all day and thinks that this is okay and this is the life to live because I'm making money. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, that doesn't matter when you it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. What matters is coming back and being rooted in yourself. What matters is having that confidence. What matters is having love. And that money and all of that craziness was not worth a damn when it came to your own personal self-worth and self-love that you hold. So 100%. Thank you.
And I know you mentioned that, when that was a shifting point, but are there any other shifting points that really led up to you deciding to become a life coach?
Yeah, definitely. I had always wanted to get into, at first in college, I came in as a psychology major. And then I went through all these journeys of like, oh, you have to go through a lot of school and a lot of debt, so you can't go that way.
Mm,
Oh, you want to become a teacher? Well, that's not going to make enough money. You're going to be worked to death. Now you got to figure out another path. It was like all these boundaries that I kept putting up for myself because of how it looks or how it's supposed to be or how it plays out. And not once was the question, well, what makes you happy?
mm,
What feels good? What is your intuition telling you? If
mm,
nothing else mattered, where would you want to be? And it was so funny because I ended up being a business major because I wanted to help nonprofits and all this stuff. I could, again, go in forever. But I was working in schools the whole time. I was working in public schools with children the whole time that I was going throughout college. I was working with other people. I mentored over 200 students through my experience in college. But I still was denying myself.
mm,
I was still denying myself over and over again. And then that's how I ended up in this corporate job and was still denying myself, even though I knew what I really wanted. I
mm.
knew what really felt good. But again, I was continuing to deny myself because how could I make it? Me. Yeah, right. And that's just the worst mindset that you could ever have. It's like it's so sad at the end of the day. It really is so sad to see that you couldn't have that potential when you damn well do. You
Right.
damn well do. So that was a huge shifting point. And then just the entire experience of becoming an entrepreneur and like labeling myself, like just when we do our intro and we're like, hi, I'm Kayla and I'm a yoga instructor and I'm a life coach and I'm a proud owner of a small business. Like, hell yes.
Right.
For me, the big like it's that mindset shift of being able to own these things about yourself that I had been denying myself. I went through a huge shift with myself. I never thought that I was beautiful.
Mm,
And I was looking so hard for other people to call me that,
mm.
to see that in me, when the biggest problem is I just didn't see it in myself, which again is just like really freaking sad. It's
Right.
really it's like you have to mourn that. You have to go through that reality check with yourself of, yeah, I don't view myself as beautiful right now, but that doesn't mean that I can't.
That's it. Come on.
That doesn't mean I can't. And so every day and day, that's a part of my affirmations forever and always. I am beautiful. I
Mm,
am beautiful. I am powerful. I can own the shit. I am a proud business owner. I am a life coach. Like, imposter syndrome is real.
right.
Imposter syndrome is so real, but it's a matter of just releasing that and saying, well, why can't I be this?
Right.
Why can't I? Who said I can't?
Right.
So having those like shift points continually along the journey have been so huge in mindset, that have just been such a gift and so freaking fun, because the minute that you let that shit go and you say, oh hell no, you're like, damn right I'm an entrepreneur,
Right.
damn right I'm a life coach, damn
Right.
right I'm a yoga instructor. Like, I don't give a shit. Sorry, I don't give a shit what anyone says. Like, this is who I am and I own it and I feel it, and no one can take that away from me, period. So I
Right.
recommend, mic drop. This is going to be my little tip for you guys today, to go in your mirror and look at your damn self and tell yourself what you are. It doesn't matter how crazy it might be. It doesn't matter how, whatever that block might be for you, remove it, get out of your own way. It's not helping you. Sit in that damn mirror with your hands on your hips and freaking tell yourself, I'm beautiful.
Right.
I'm a boss. I got this.
Right.
I'm a kill it. I'm a life coach. Whatever that is for you. Sit there and tell yourself that every day, and I promise you won't look back. You will not look back.
That's
I
it.
love this. Yes, Brooklyn, you are the shit. You are a badass woman. I love these
And so
comments.
I want us to connect with some moments that
Yeah.
you said, because there are several times that you gave me goosebumps. But even one of the first things when you said, there was like, ask yourself, what would, like, pretty much what would make me happy.
Mhm.
This is what I noticed in my life coaching business. And what I say is, really, I'm giving people space to ask themselves and answer these questions, because a lot
Yeah.
of times we are clear on what we don't like. Through experiences, we're
Yep.
clear on what we don't like. We're clear on what we don't want, but we don't take the time to answer that question. What would make me happy? What brings me joy? Where and when do I feel at peace?
Right.
In order to create what you want and make all of that happen, you got to be clear about what it is that you want, how you would like to feel in the spaces that bring you there.
Hmm.
So that was so beautiful when you was like, oh, what will make me happy? Am I
Yeah.
happy? Am I
Hmm.
happy?
Period.
Because
Yeah.
sometimes we be in denial, like, okay, in this moment, in this relationship, in this job, in in this space, on this trip, am I happy? And why do I keep subjecting myself to experiences like this?
Hmm. 100%. When I was going through my experience at my corporate job, I was filling it with other things to like make up for the fact that I wasn't happy. So like I would get my nails done regularly. And I was
Mm,
like, "Oh yeah, the nails are done. That means that everything's great."
right, right.
Or for the first time in my life, I was like financially stable as an adult. And so I was like, "That makes me happy. That's the key." No. You like I would way rather be broke and doing life coaching for the rest of my life than to be sitting on bricks and hating my life with my job. No way. I would way rather do the other because, again, your happiness, your joy is the most important thing in your life. And until you have that deep conversation with yourself of what that is and what that looks like, or get coached on that, like what that looks like and how to define that, it's huge, it's pivotal. And one exercise that I love to do with myself is to just constantly define things, because definitions are so subjective, so subjective. Like one thing can mean so many different things to another person. This takes me back to one of our IG lives that we did about every map that someone has is different and it is valid, and that is how everything runs in this world. And so until you understand that and you say, let me stop looking at everyone else's map and let me look at my own damn map
Right.
and know that it's valid and know that it's great and that it's fantastic and that it's going to navigate me, right? And so being able to own that as well is so huge. So yeah.
Right. And I see somebody, they also wrote that peace is priceless. It is. And the other thing is, we have to believe that happiness, joy, and peace and things like that are possible.
Yeah. Oh my
Right?
God. Right. Mm-hmm. But
How
they
many
are.
people believe that it's possible for us? Because I can tell you, in my own just surviving life, forever, I didn't think it was possible. I just thought I was supposed to be just getting through, pushing through, just
Yep.
making it like, oh, the struggle is real every day. That was what I'm saying. That was my answer. How is today? The struggle is real. Now I can say I'm blessed and highly favored. So that
Yeah.
mindset shift that you were talking about is huge.
Huge.
To
Huge.
believe that other folks have different experiences and their experiences are valid, and their experiences have nothing to do with me and my experience.
Mm-hmm.
You
Right.
hitting it today, Kayla. You cutting up on us.
What can I say? It it's just it's being able to look like it it was not easy having to, I call it the muck. But when it comes to your self-love journey, there is so much shit that has been piled up,
Right.
so much. And I've been digging for a while. I've been digging for a while, but it's worth the dig. It's worth the sweat and tears. It is so worth it to get to each level of yourself and to just get even deeper and find out. One of my favorite things right now is to be just like kind of an intention that I hold with myself all the time is to just be rooted in love.
Mm-hmm.
I have these roots with myself, and they are just so rooted in love. Everything that I do, every piece of me, whether it's what I eat, whether it's how I walk, how I talk, who I interact with, needs to be so heavily rooted in love. And it has brought me so much peace and so much just oh, everything to have like. And so maybe asking yourself this question of where are your roots right now?
Right.
Are they in love? Are they in money? Are they in like whatever they may be? Are they in someone else's garden where they shouldn't be?
Right. Right.
You
Right.
know, like where are your roots, and how, like, what are your intentions to either remove that, to change that, to, you get to pick your soil, you get to pick where you take root. Where are you taking root? And that's been such a huge guidance for me with everything that I do. Before I do anything, I stop and I take that moment to ask myself and be like, is this rooted in love?
Mm.
Period.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautifully
Thank
said.
you.
And that's I also want to encourage the audience. So when you think about, are you clear about your intentions, or if you want to call it priorities, what are your priorities in your life and your intentions for your life? Is it peace, love, joy? Is it healthy relationships? Being clear about that. So then as you're making your daily decisions,
Yep.
asking yourself, am I saying yes to this or no to this? Because does it match with what's on my priority list? Is it financial stability that I'm desiring? So when I make the decision to go to this store that I love, that I go in with the intention to buy one thing, but I actually buy 26 other things that I didn't necessarily need, I should actually say no, because this is not in alignment with my intention to be financially secure or debt free. Or when I'm communicating, because I desire, my intention is to have healthy relationships. Am I communicating in a healthy way? Am I being honest in my communication? Am I listening to the other people that I'm communicating with, so that I have those healthy relationships? Or is this relationship serving me? Do I feel at peace when I'm engaged in this relationship? Or it feels like chaos, stress, what? Then maybe I shouldn't maintain the relationship here any longer.
Right. 100%. And when you find that clarity with yourself and that understanding, it makes those hard decisions a little easier.
Yeah.
And then you're ultimately choosing yourself and coming from the best place that you possibly can. So that's, yeah, I think that that's fantastic. Thank you, Tia. Just a little, when it comes to my coaching strategy, I utilize the moon phases. I also have influence because I'm a yoga instructor. I have influence from yoga philosophy. And I kind of came to these like three major parts that are really important to me. And so the first part is to ground yourself and to find confidence. So that's like one nice little chunk to really solidify when it comes to being able to walk on your journey, to find trust in yourself. You have to have that confidence within you. And ultimately, with that confidence, you can find the ground beneath you, right? Then I also find, and so I, again, with the moon phases, I utilize it as a tool to find clarity and alignment. So to constantly be reflecting with myself, to ask myself those hard questions: where am I rooted? How does this align with me and what my priorities are? And then the last part for me, which is so important, is sustainability and support. So we can have all those pieces where we are grounded and we are confident and we have clarity and alignment. But if you don't have a sustainable process for yourself, girl, you're going to be running in circles. It's not going to feel good. It's going to be really hard to be able to like find that next step forward, to find that next step to level yourself up. And it's going to feel a lot of like running around. So finding a way to incorporate rest that we've been talking about. Celebration, celebrate, you know,
Yes.
those are so important in creating a sustainable like way, like journey of growth for yourself. And then you need support. We can't do it alone. We can't do it alone. So making sure again, like having that grounding, that confidence, finding that clarity and alignment, asking yourself the hard questions, and then ultimately making sure that this is a sustainable system that works for you and that you have the damn support to back your ass up because life is hard. Life
Okay.
is hard. Making sure you have like those to me are just such pivotal pieces that really allow you to grow and blossom in the places that you need, right? So those are kind of the key components that I utilize in my coaching and make those a forefront for people because lots of times like we miss pieces, which again is fine and normal because we're all human.
Right.
I was missing sustainability and support, clarity and alignment. I was missing all those pieces, you know? And it's a matter of like slowly bringing those together to be able to allow those roots to become deep, to find that alignment and ultimately that peace for yourself, which is just chef's kiss, right? Chef's kiss. I see some comments here. I appreciate you guys. I hope those really resonated with you because those are kind of those pieces that I always check in with myself. I'm like, okay, where's our sustainability? How are we resting? How are we taking care of ourselves? How are we celebrating? Because girl, you've been on this grind for too long. Breathe.
Right.
You know, all those pieces. So yeah.
And as we're wrapping up, I want to ask you one last question. And if you all in the audience have any questions, feel free to start popping those in the comments and things like that. But is there anything else that you believe is super important for you to share with our audience today?
Yeah. One question that we had kind of talked about previously was like, what's a quote that has helped you along the way? And I typically hate that question because I haven't always been like a big quote person. So I'm always like, ugh. But I actually have had a quote lately that's been really important. It kind of goes along with this theme of roots. And it was some I do oracle card readings and whatnot, so it was in my book, but it basically goes, um, the deeper the roots, the higher the climb, the greater the view.
Mm.
And that, whoo, just gives me just all of the things that you need, you know? Like, allow those roots to be deep. That climb is going to be freaking hard, but that damn view is going to make it all worth it. And so I just want to leave you guys with that, and hope you guys feel a little inspired to get those deep roots.
That's it. So as now we're going to jump into any questions from our audience. Also during this week, I posted and asked our audience for some questions they had for us. One of the questions that we received was, how do you stay positive?
Mm, yeah, that's a great question. I have mixed feelings about positivity because shit ain't always going to be positive.
Right.
But what I think how I'd like to rephrase that is like, how do you stay grounded? How do you stay aligned? And to me, that is just constantly checking in with myself. As I mentioned, I utilize the moon phases as a tool to help me constantly stay in touch. And so during the new moon, is a time to basically set those intentions for yourself. And then throughout that time, you're kind of between the new moon and the full moon, you're really working on that intention. And then at the full moon, you celebrate, you reflect, and you have a point to be able to say, okay, things are great and like things have come to fruition and there's fruit on the tree. Hell yeah, I'm going to celebrate this. Or your tree died. And being able to be like, my tree died. You know, like, yeah, I'm freaking sad. I'm going to cry right now. You know, I'm going to let this out and I'm going to release it and I'm going to let it go. And I'm going to give myself the evening to do that. And then I'm going to move on and I'm going to rest. And I'm going to take care of myself. And then allow yourself to kind of go through this cycle. When I go through this cycle, it has just been absolutely amazing, and just the best way to just keep moving forward. So that's my little 2 cents on staying positive and grounded.
Awesome, awesome. And just quick, I'll throw something in there.
Yeah.
For me, similar to what Kayla's talking about, is coming from this place of gratitude. Like,
Mm.
I can stay in good energy because I can come from a place of gratitude. What am I grateful for? So that I don't take it on as the worst. I can get through this. So this ain't always positive. This ain't always smiling. I might get frustrated and say a few curse words, all the things. But what I can get back to is, what am I grateful for? This ain't gonna be the first situation. This ain't gonna be the last situation. What am I grateful for? I can be grateful for this and know that I can overcome this. I can win. I can get on the other side. I can handle this. I am capable.
Mm-hmm.
So really pouring into yourself, and then reaching out for the support that you need in that process. Where are you at? What do you desire? That's sometimes I don't want to talk. I just desire a hug. And I can say, I really need a hug right now. Most of the time when I ask for it, people aren't nearby. But, just it's nice for me to even share that I just really wish I could have a hug. And then for them to say, I really wish I could give you a hug. Just that acknowledgement. And sometimes, so really getting to what is it that I'm needing in this time? Really asking yourself, what am I struggling with? Is it because my peace, I don't have that peace? Is it because I have joy? Because I'm in chaos? Is that where my positivity is? Because that means I got some work to do in resolving that. I got to get clear about what it is. That clarity is a game changer.
It is.
When you get clear about something and you're no longer unsure about what the problem, then you can't sit at ease with it remaining that same way. It's remaining the same. When you get that clarity, you're gonna be like, I got to do something about this. Yep. I can't just sit with it continuing on this path if I'm real clear about what is negativity or sadness, or my joy is being impacted, my peace is being impacted. Oh, no. So you're going to have to do something in response.
Beautiful.
Any other questions? Do we see any other questions?
I don't see any in the chat here.
All righty. Then we shall wrap this up then.
Fantastic. Let's wrap it up. Next time we are going to be getting vulnerable again, but this time we are switching roles. So we are going to allow the Miss Tia Trust to go ahead and lay it on us with her beautiful and amazing story, diving in a little bit deeper as why she became a coach and all those great things. We did want to touch base. Did we decide that we are going to do your IG live?
We haven't decided.
Okay, so we're going to ask everyone here.
Hold on, Kayla. We got a question.
Oh, okay.
How do you overcome the negative self-talk and the feelings of being stuck?
Yes, that is a fantastic question. And I just want to preface this with, it doesn't happen overnight again.
Right.
It does not happen overnight at all. It's not there is no quick fix to negative self-talk at all. But there is the ability to shift that. My favorite thing, and this, I owe everything to affirmations, daily affirmations, period. You want that mindset shift? Is that what you're asking for? Because if it is, you better be doing those daily affirmations. It doesn't matter, again, how ridiculous the affirmation might sound to you at the time. I thought it was crazy saying that I was beautiful every day. I was like, yeah, right. And then all of a sudden one day I was like, damn, girl, you cute. It's just all of a sudden one day it's just going to click. But it comes to this practice of having to show up again and again. And even again, if it feels so cringy, I felt so gross when I was saying I thought I was beautiful or I love myself. I was like, ugh, this hurts me. But then eventually you hit a day where you're like, this isn't so bad. And then you hit another day where you're like, dang, girl. And then you might have another day where you're like, ugh, this is making my skin crawl again. But you keep showing up, and that mindset shift, and it gets easier and it gets better and better. So practice is my biggest recommendation when it comes to negative self-talk. And you might even have a moment where I have this reel that I did where it's like, stop. And like, I literally had a moment like that with myself with negative self-talk where I was just like, shut up, like, cut it. This is not helpful. This is not where we want to be. So it looks different for everyone, but those are experiences that I've had that have been really transformative for me with working on that negative self-talk. And then the getting unstuck follows. Tia, did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
You know I'm going to always add something, but it's pretty much what you're saying. So it's really, you have to think about it. All of these life experiences that you've had up until this point have basically rewritten your DNA into not believing in yourself in whatever areas that you don't believe, whether it's in your beauty, your power, your confidence. It has hit you in a variety of ways. So you got to start affirming yourself so you can rewrite your DNA. You got to start. You got to start. And if you are on this live today and you acknowledge that you have negative self-talk, then you can no longer be comfortable with that. You got to know you deserve just what you desire.
Yep.
You are powerful. You are a place of peace. You are loved. Whatever that is, you have to, it's your responsibility to affirm it. We can't wait on nobody else to say, I'm proud of you, you are valuable and stuff. That's not going to fix it. You have the responsibility to rewrite your DNA by affirming yourself. So you got to ask yourself, what do I need? What is hurting within me that needs to be acknowledged? What needs to be affirmed? And you need to put look, this is what I will tell folks. Put them affirmations everywhere. Put post-its everywhere on your refrigerator, front door, back door. If other people in your house, they can affirm themselves too. But put them things everywhere, on your mirror, on the shower, on the toilet door, everywhere you're going to see it. So every time you see it, you are affirming yourself, because you got to be intentional with rewriting your DNA.
Yep.
You deserve it. And when you love it on you, the unstuckness will release, because you're going to get clear about what it's going to take for you to get to what you desire. You're going to start making decisions in alignment with what you desire. If you desire to love yourself and value yourself, affirming yourself is necessary. And you're going to start somewhere. We are not going to beat ourselves up when we don't do it one day. 1 minute, we're going to celebrate that I did it yesterday. And hey, today is a new day and a new opportunity for me to do it all over again. We are not going to cry and moan over yesterday or 5 minutes ago. Right now, I have a new opportunity to do it all over again. And we're going to celebrate. That's why I'm blessed and highly favored on every single day. I have life. I have breath. I have a new opportunity to love. I have a new opportunity to have impact through living, through coaching, through loving. And I'm living my life with intention. I want you all to live your life with intention. Joy and peace will come. And I have a hashtag Daily 5 Challenge. That just made me think of it. The reason why I had this Daily 5 Challenge, because folks find it so hard to identify time to love and nurture themselves. So I'm challenging everyone on here today to participate in this hashtag Daily 5 Challenge, where you just take 5 minutes every day. Ask yourself, what would nourish my soul? And do just that. When I had my own breakthrough in my life, it began with me just finding a few minutes to do something, like drink a cup of coffee and go outside and identify things I had to be grateful for. And once that started, and I started doing that more and more, I desired even more time to do the things that I desired to do, to love on Tia. And it grew into me quitting jobs and everything. I'm just telling you, it's going to be big breakthroughs. But I'm going to encourage you, do this Daily 5 Challenge. You ain't got to post nothing for me, but I want to encourage you to take 5 minutes at least every day to say, hey, self, what do you need today? How do I need to love on you? It could be anything. It could be a walk. It could be sitting in silence. I don't want to talk. It could be reading. It could be meditation. It could be yoga. It could be whatever it is. You got to start asking yourself some questions.
It's really true though. It really starts, I think everyone's journey starts with taking a minute or two. I mean, that's what it was for me with my affirmations. Taking that minute or two to just say those affirmations.
Mm-hmm.
Just do it. What are you waiting for? Take the 5 minutes. Take even 1 minute. 1 minute.
Something.
1 minute to just do it. Whatever it is that helps unlock you, just do it. Give yourself the opportunity. Love on yourself. Just do it. You won't regret it. It'll be the best thing that you've ever done for yourself, and you're going to look back and it's like, because I took 1 minute.
Right.
Because I took 5 minutes for myself. Look at who I am now. Like Tia said, look at her now. She quit her job. She's doing, all these amazing things because she took those 5 minutes.
And living in my truth.
Yes.
I'm sitting here with somebody who has joy. And it's a continual journey. Like joy don't get here and then it just, you just have joy every day. It's because I'm living with intention. I'm making sure that it aligns because joy is a priority. So my decisions have to align with me maintaining joy. So that's why I want you all to think about it. Like, what is my priority? Mm-hmm. And I hope you are on the list.
Yep, me too. Otherwise, what are we doing? What are we doing? Real talk. What are you doing? Mm-hmm. With love and compassion, what the hell are you doing? You need to be on the list. Right. You. Period. Whew.
All right, beautiful.
How are you feeling? Yeah. How are you guys feeling? How are you feeling about vulnerability?
I see somebody said got me crying over here. Thank you. Because I also want to celebrate you all for showing up.
Yeah.
You showing up to some life coaching. You coming to get your life coaching every third Saturday. So that's an intentional decision, right? So even if you weren't conscious about necessarily whether it was to support us or you heard about us or whatever, even if it wasn't a conscious decision, I want you to know that something in you has you showing up for you. Yeah. So now we're going to switch it and we're going to be intentional.
Yeah. It's already, the seed's there. The seed's there.
Seed's been dropped for a long time.
The seed's been dropped. Now you got to make sure that watering can's right over that seed. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Right. Oh, gosh. I love doing these. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Tia. Just so much love and gratitude for being able to hold this space and do the damn thing. It's beautiful. It's really special. Do we have... Yeah, go ahead.
Before we wrap it up, I want to tell you that I appreciate you. I want to celebrate you for continuing on your journey. I want to celebrate you for making yourself comfortable with the uncomfortable. I want to celebrate you and appreciate you for being vulnerable and choosing your mental health, doing whatever it takes for you to reach your place of peace and love and being clear on your intentions. I just really want to support you and celebrate you for all of those things because you are an awesome woman, an entrepreneur, and family member and sister to me.
Oh, thank you, Tia. I love you and I appreciate you. And thank you for being able to hold space for me to get uncomfortable and have my skin crawl and get weird and just walk in my truth. Thank you. It really is so special when you're able to have someone be there for you and be able to support you in your truth. So thankful.
Yay.
Yes. Okay, before we end any of this, we do have a question for you guys. Tia, she's got to get vulnerable next. She's got to give us the scoop.
right? She's already been dropping it on us today, but we this ain't even her truth story yet. So we wanted to ask you guys, did you want to wait until the next third Saturday in February, or did we want to hear her story sooner? So we'd love to see some comments, see what you guys are thinking. I know we had talked about potentially doing it tomorrow or next Saturday at noon. We want to see what you guys are thinking, what you're feeling. Yeah, I know I'm excited. I want her to go right now, but you know, we gotta rest. We gotta take a break.
Right.
So what are you guys thinking? As soon as possible. I agree. Sooner.
And
Okay.
also, while y'all putting that in the chat, we also want to remind you all that we both offer complimentary sessions. So if we resonated with you, you can book with both of us or either one of us. So always check our bios, and that has the link to where you can schedule with us. So for sure, take advantage of that complimentary session. If not you, spread the word to any friend or family member that needs the support and encourage them. It is an amazing session for someone. There will definitely be breakthroughs. Okay.
Yes. Okay, Tia, I am seeing sooner.
I see you next Saturday.
Yeah,
Soon
I see next
as possible.
Saturday.
Okay.
So I'm definitely thinking sooner. We will let you guys know the deets as soon as possible, as when we decide maybe it will be next Saturday, but I see
Yeah.
ASAP.
Let's
I
just
don't
do
blame
it.
you guys.
Let's just make it known. We'll make it for
Yeah,
next.
perfect. Next Saturday at noon, we will see you guys. Again, we are so thankful. I know we're going to be scheduling for next Saturday for Tia to get vulnerable, but we still will be with you guys every third Saturday. So put that on your schedule for this coming or next month, February. Crazy. Again, we also want to make sure that you guys make some time to celebrate in remembrance of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. That is the celebration day is on Monday, but I believe today is his actual birthday, which is beautiful. So fantastic. All right. Thank you guys. Thank you for all the support. We appreciate you and have a fantastic rest of your day.
Yes, and be blessed.